Good morning, y'all. I'm back. Camo vest. Randy in the car. How's everybody doing? You thought I was done with this bullshit, but here I am. I got another story for you. It is about a band that I was in and how I came to be in that band. This is the early, I guess you would call it early 2000s. A friend of mine who had played in party bands and variety bands in the 80s, instead of them kind of getting the motorcycles and doing wild things when they got older, midlife crisis type stuff, they decided to get the band back together. So this particular friend had been playing with me in church and wanted me to join, even though I was 10 years younger than all of them, and that'll play into the story in a little bit. So he asked me to play, and there was a lot of stuff going on at that time, and I just couldn't commit to a band. I was playing, just every Sunday at church at the time. And so I declined, and they got another drummer, and he didn't work out. And I'm not sure of the timeline there because I wasn't involved. And so after he didn't work out, they came back to me, and I was available to come and audition for this band. Now, I had played with this bass player for quite some time, and he could kind of vouch for me. And, sometimes in musician circles, hey, let's get this guy, he's really good. I promise he'll fit in or whatever. But just to explain, this was an R&B, soul, and funk band. We were playing Motown. We played Chicago. Just a bunch of songs that I didn't grow up on and didn't know. So I understand in hindsight where these guys were coming from. And there were 8 guys in the band. I think maybe 7 when we started. So we had a front man who played sax, bass player, 2 electric guitar players, a trumpet player, and a sax player who played flute. So whatever that math's up to, that's how many we had in this band. And the name of the band was the Love Handles, which makes sense with everything. So, and remember, these guys are 10 years older than me. So there's, some back and forth. Hey, we want him to come to the rehearsal space and audition. So I learned 10 songs, and I go to this audition, and, we're playing songs. And remember, R&B, soul, and funk band, Motown, these guys are 10 years older than me. These are the songs that were potentially on the radio when they grew up. I'm a metalhead. I grew up with Slayer, Metallica, Motley Crue. That was my upbringing. I mean, obviously there was pop, and I got into U2 and those kind of bands, but it wasn't what we were playing in this band. And I had never played with a horn section. At that time, I had played in a thrash metal band. I had played in a hair metal band. I played in a punk band. I had played in a kind of alternative grunge Alice in Chains type band. None of those bands had a horn section. And most of them only had 1 guitar player, except for the thrash metal band, because that's the best way to play thrash, is to have 2 guitar players. I digress. So they gave me 10 songs. We went through the first song. Cool. They're like, all right, okay, this dude can play, I guess. I'm guessing, if I'm remembering right. And then song 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hey, blah, 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 this sounds great. Yeah, blah, 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 blah. Hey, this guy can play. I think it's going to work out. We're having a good time. And they're like, okay, so, let's rehearse or whatever. And then we got the show. I don't know if we had a show on the books, but basically at the time of the audition, they believed this guy that had brought me into the picture, like that I could actually play these songs, even though I was 10 years younger and they didn't know me. They had never heard me play. I mean, this was about '09, so it wasn't like I had shit on my Instagram or out on YouTube of me playing with drum cams. You know, I didn't have a resume except for this guy vouching for me. So we get to song 8. And I'm like, and they're like, yeah, this is cool. I'm like, we got 2 more songs to play. I learned all 10 of these songs. We're going to play all 10 of these songs. So I was kind of a butthole, and I made them play all 10 songs. But anyways, that band was the Love Handles. We played around. We were able to play at the Soiree on State Street, do some private events, play some weddings. And it was fun. And like it was nothing that I'd ever done before. And so I learned a lot in that band. I had a great time. I'm still friends with all the guys. And we had some moving lineups. We did a few different demos. The guy that got me into the band, we worked on the website. So it was a great time. I had fun. We reunited a couple of times. And it was great. But I just thought it was funny that these guys kind of doubted me, because they were kind of taking this other guy at his word. And I probably think because I was 10 years younger, and maybe this guy told them, you know, hey, he plays with me at church. And, you know, sometimes people serve at church and like they haven't played. Like that's the only place they've played. And with kind of in the church, there's a little bit of a grading on the curve, should I say. So they didn't know who I was, so I don't blame anybody, but I just thought it was funny that all 10 songs, I made them do them, made sure that, you know, that I was their guy. So anyways, I thought that was funny. I had a good time. When I did their website, I was able to get the search term Love Handles to the top of Google. So, you know, whatever, you know, this thing. So if you search Love Handles, probably not now, you got the Love Handles, the band. And you didn't have to put in Love Handles band. You just put in Love Handles, the term, which I have. Anyways, so yeah, if you search Love Handles, there we were on the top page. So I have that to show for. And I had a great time with these guys, and I was able to expand my horizons. And I'm a firm believer that the more you listen to, the more you play, the better musician you become. Sure, people can stay in their lane and you know, play to their strengths, but if you really want to become a better player, you should at the very least listen to a bunch of different stuff. You definitely don't need to go play jazz if you're barely hanging on and you have a jazz gig and you can barely do it, or you know, a metal gig and you just learned how to play double kick. Like, don't do those kind of silly things. I think it goes without saying, but play to your strengths, but listen to a whole bunch of stuff. The best musicians that I know of that are my friends and acquaintances and people I follow, they like all kinds of music. So just don't stay in your lane with your ears. Just stay in your lane with your hands and playing your instrument, because, you know, it's not really doesn't serve you well if you're a jack of all trades and a master of none. I would say that I'm not a master of a lot of stuff, and I'm like a pro-am person. And I really enjoy making music with people. I'm not much of a practicer, but I love making music, fleshing out original songs, playing covers that I'm in love with. So yeah, just keep your ears open and listen to a lot of stuff. And also, don't forget, have a great fucking day.